Gundam.tk presents Wing Gundam. Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Robert184, Gundam.tk with part 3, my wrap-up to the high grade 1/100th Wing Gundam review. And you can see right now that it's in bird mode, and actually it's not looking all too bad there. But the first thing that I want to talk about with this is the importance. I built this kit at the wrong time, which may come across in the fact that I don't have as many positive things to say about this as somebody who built it in the mid-90s, watching the anime, just getting hooked on Gundam, might have to say about it. So I think that's something of an important point that I want to stress to anybody, especially people like me who are, well, I'm collecting all the lead Gundams, as you probably know, but when I was building the V Gundam kits and the Gundam X kits, etc., I could forgive them for a lot of their faults, and that came from something very, very simple, in the fact that I was building those kits while I was watching the anime. So I'm watching Gundam X, loving Gundam X, and then I build the kit, and the kit is poor. It's about the same as this in quality, maybe a little better, but I could forgive it because of how cool and how much I was enjoying the anime at the same time. So for those of you who built this kit in the mid-90s, I'm sure you probably enjoyed it quite a bit because at the time this was top of the line for Bandai. But let's talk about the good things, and you'll notice that it's in bird mode, and I did that on purpose because, actually for me, the bird mode is surprisingly fun with this kit. First of all, the transformation is easy, no stress, so nothing is going to happen, nothing like with Unicorn or the Master Grade Zeta version 2.0, which is awesome by the way, just can be a little bit frustrating, the transformation. This is easy, and you can treat it sort of like a transformer. No stress at all going back and forth. And once you've got it in bird mode, I think it looks surprisingly good, and the big thing that I give credit for that is for the clear green parts, which I really dismissed when I first bought this kit and I thought it was just a cheap gimmick, but now it's something I think it really adds a lot of color, and it just sort of adds to the overall toyish feeling. Like, this could be a transformer from the 1980s and it would fit in no problem. So if you enjoyed that kind of toy, I think you'll like that for this. And my final good point is the gold. It's a good feature of this and makes it stand out in a positive way. But to talk about the negatives, I've put this back in mobile suit mode. So first of all, the thing that I noticed about this is that the head is very bland and unremarkable. Usually when you're building a Gundam, when you put the head together, you're especially with the newer ones, you're very impressed with the way they put it together, like F91 or a few of the other ones. But this head was unremarkable in both its engineering and construction, but also in the way it looks when it's done. The only thing that sort of saves it is the fact that it has a clear camera there and the gold effect parts. My next complaint is with the limited posability. The legs don't move too much, and the arms, while they do have good flexibility, they can move anywhere, they're not going to stay in place anywhere. And the general looseness of the kit, when you're trying to pose it and get the legs right and the center of balance right and everything just doesn't want to, it doesn't feel like it wants to stay in place. There's nothing really holding this together. And I would understand if I bought this kit back in 1995 that it would be getting weaker over time, but this is a new kit just put together, so there's no real excuse for it besides the fact this is too old of a kit. My next complaint is about the stickers, because this white sticker on the chest here really stands out for me because it's a different color from the white or very light gray of the rest of the model. And if you notice on the forearms, they do have a little bit of a shiny sticker down there on the bottom, and I'm glad they at least made that shiny. It does go well with the gold in the claws. But again, that's something that should be a part, not a sticker. My next complaint, in addition to just the general looseness, is the specific weakness of the arms, especially in the elbows. I've got this in a nice pose, and I'm lucky that I get it there, because it will stay in place for a little while. But the problem is, if you display your kits in mobile suit mode, they're just going to be standing there generally with weapons and shields in hand. And if you have if these things are always going to fall down over time, and the wrists especially are going to be incredibly weak and not want to stay in place, you're going to have your Gundam in its main pose looking bad on your shelf. Next, we have the overlining, and this isn't just a kit against a complaint against the wing kits, this is the X kits in general. Just the fact that you don't have to line it, but there are places where I refrain from lining, but it still comes across as being a little bit overlined for me, and especially when you see the cleanness of the high-grade after-war Gundam X, with its very minimalist approach to lining. That's what I'd like to see Bandai doing for all the kits that come out from now on, and something that they addressed when they made the master grade of this kit. Finally, I know I've just been railing on about negatives here for like the last 4 minutes, but the big thing for me is that when you buy a kit, it should reflect the power of the anime. And I think I saw that on a Japanese review site somewhere, and I'm mistranslating it, of course. But the idea being that the way you saw the mobile suit in the anime should come across, especially in the proportions of the kit. And anybody who's built Master Grade New Gundam knows that that kit is wrong because the proportions are. And that's my main complaint about this. Even though I haven't watched the anime in a while, this isn't quite how I remember the anime. Which is why when I saw the scans of the Master Grade Wing Gundam coming out, I was just impressed because I was like, wow, that's exactly how I remember the anime. And maybe I've got some rose-colored glasses on here, and in the 90s this is exactly how people saw it, but the proportions are wrong, and if the proportions don't match your memory, then I don't think it's a good model. Just like the Master Grade New, it may be a fine model, but the proportions are wrong, and so is this one. Wow, that whole part 3 was pretty negative, but you know what? It's not a terrible model. If you like the anime, you'd want to buy this, but my main point, of course, is going to be buy the Master Grade, because unless you really like shiny gold chrome, there's really nothing that this one does better than the new one. So anyway, stay tuned Wednesday for the review of the Master Grade, and don't forget to check out my review of Wing Zero, the mid-season upgrade. Anyway, Robert184, thanks for watching everybody. Rate, comment, subscribe. See you again with more reviews. Hey, do you have any extra of those green shirts?